So let's bring it home big on all the energy. Let's pour it on past the finish line, through the finish line, and to the promised land of the soul for you as a sales leader. Right now, you have some perceptions, some experiences of today, and some of those will be with immense value, perceiving all the value you've received before me and right here with me. And let this guide us to some new truths that you're seeing about your career, yourself, what's possible for you and your future. So let me ask you all a question. Who would like to see those sales targets being met, exceeded this month, next month, this quarter, next quarter, and the year beyond, and to hear the sound of success and feel phenomenal doing it? You probably would want that, and many of our members are experiencing that. So later on, there'll be an invitation for you to become part of that. Come with us on the journey. Right now, we're on a journey together. And that journey is really a deep dive into what we can do with the time that we have, into what James and I call the 5 shifts. And these are the 5 shifts that any sales leader and anybody knows, that anyone who knows anything about leadership knows there are really actually very few things done well that, when done well, will actualize and support you in self-realizing and actualizing success through your business, through your team, and in every expression of your life. And so these are the 5 key shifts that you must make. And I'll jump into what they are. Before I do that, we'll have some fun, because it has been potentially for some of you a long day, and energy is everything. There's something James says, and it's, do you want more energy? So do you want more energy? Likely the answer is yes. We all want more energy. And why do we want that? Because, well, ultimately, energy is everything. And it doesn't matter if you're looking at this from a Nikola Tesla perspective, a scientific perspective, a biological perspective, whatever the perspective and the perception, we all want more energy, because energy moves, shapes our lives. It shapes our emotional experience, the texture and the tapestry of your being, how we relate, how we create right now. So if you will, and you may find that you want to play along with me, some won't want to, and that's okay. We're not here to bring anyone into something they don't want to do. But if you do want more energy, then just play along with me. And let me give you a little backstory here, just to how I sort of surfaced upon some of these insights. James gave me a phenomenal introduction there, speaks so very kindly and expansively about the being that I am. It's been a journey, and I'll fast track that journey. I mean, it began, I guess, before they were calling it biohacking, with a sports supplement business. I actually had my first job out of school in sales, very specifically in sales, and then into the business, which was all about sports, high performance, nutrition. So this was where I began to get really present to what is possible for you as a being, as a human, physiologically, of course, because this is our temple. This is our spaceship through which we move around this reality. And so we need this in peak performance. And at that time, I was training, 12 times a week, 5 gym sessions, 5 runs, 2 swim sessions, 5,000 calories a day, everything precise, every macronutrient, micronutrient, compound, and brought that all together into a business which supported other people with their goals, with their physical body. And if you know anything about the physical body, what's crucial is breathing. So perhaps you hadn't thought today that you might come to a phenomenal event about SaaS growth and you actualizing, self-realizing as a leader, to now meet with the idea that we'll breathe together. And that is what we'll do if you're open to it. It's the first thing that we'll do. And the reason for that is because, well, breath is everything. If you're in more of a yogic path, breath is life. And more recently, I've studied a yogic path. I've had the gift of really 2 years of sort of deep diving after my business career that James shared into some other realms and worlds, which include some of the yogic paths, different theologies, different entheogens, compounds that are expanding and awakening the mind and the consciousness and the soul today. And wherever you go, breath is crucial. And there are times where we're more present to that, more aware of breath if we're swimming. Everybody's probably swam at some point in their life. And if you have swam, when your face is in the water, we're often more conscious of that breath. Of course, when we were all babies in the womb, we weren't breathing in the same specific way. Actually, the baby is contracting to draw in what it needs. And I had the gift 2 years ago to and some of this is what I'll be sharing with you, practice with a deep diver, a free diver, dives to 80 meters without any oxygen tanks on the back. And that's really presence of your being, your spirit, your soul in the moment, and regulating that breath, regulating the nervous system. So that's really a gift I want to bring to you today. So we will get there in a moment. There are some things that we're going to do together. I'm just giving you a little backstory as to how it all came to be so you can appreciate this and maybe even share it with your teams. And so as we're breathing, there are different breath patterns, and different breath patterns do different things. And I'm sure you're all aware that if anyone out there needed it, there is the opportunity for a pacemaker, which is essentially an electrical device. Now, why does that work in the body? Well, you're full of electricity. You're full of energy. And so there are also specific things that different cultures have done across time that will support the movement of energy. And in certain cultures, that could be called a mudra. And that would be holding your fingers in specific positions. And maybe we've seen that on films. Maybe we've seen those monks meditating. Now, why are they doing that? Well, there are many reasons. One we can share right now is by actually touching specific points on the fingertips, and we will do that today, you will be able to recycle and move energy through your body. If you imagine you're an electrical circuit, you need to complete the circuit. Light switch off, light switch on. And so we'll be doing that. So we'll be doing some mudras, which will support you in moving energy through your body, rebooting all of your glands. You have specific master glands in your body. When they're thriving, when they're in optimal peak performance, and guess what the benefits are? You're more present. You feel safe in your body. You feel relaxed. And this wouldn't matter if you were in a challenging sales meeting or a presentation in front of 500 people around the world, or with your family, with your loved one. If you can really self-regulate your nervous system, drop into a space of safety, relaxation, what actually also happens is you shift from what's called the sympathetic to the parasympathetic nervous system. And in that space, because the sympathetic is fight, flight, freeze, the other is this space of being. So when those monks are with those mudras, when the breath is with conscious intention, and your life gets to be that way too, and maybe it is already, and if it's not yet, it will become that, and it could be now. So when the breath is conscious, life is conscious and intentional, the mudras are there, we're actually beginning to expand and open consciousness. You're making available more resources that you may not even have been aware that you had. And when that happens, the words that will flow, not just from your mouth, from your heart, from your soul, those words will connect with anyone, whether you want to call them an ICP or a prospect or a leader or the C-suite. You can see them, label them any way you want. It's really an extension of the being that you are, which is an infinite being. So this is where we're going to go right now. And what I will briefly share is often we see the prayer position. Well, what's really going on there? And this is a big secret that sometimes because of the way we grow up, maybe we grew up with a theological background, maybe it was the church, and maybe we did or didn't relate to the church specifically. And that can mean that we stay away from some of these things. Or maybe we did go to church, and so we've been doing it the whole time, but maybe we didn't know the deeper secrets of what's really going on. So when you're actually in a prayer position, think about where this is in your body. Your heart's right here, more or less, right? It's in this region. So think about that. You're able to be here, hands together, and feel. And actually play along with me. Play along right now as we're laddering on the steps, because that's what's going on here. We're actually going first rung, second rung, so we shed a bit about breath. Rung 1, rung 2, mudras. We're completing this, right? And then we'll bring it all together. We'll do it together. So just bring your hands together in front of your heart. You can even close your eyes, because sometimes all this sensory input through the eyes distracts us from the being that's within. So feel within your being with your hands in a prayer position, and just feel the energy begin to amass between your palms. And you can have them almost slightly cupped like this, actually. And imagine that there's this infinite 0 point of reality. Imagine that within the palm of your hands, as the creator you are, creation happening. There is this 0 point of energy, a golden ball beginning to build in your being, in your heart space. And breathe in through the nose and breathe life, breathe breath into that. And in that space, maybe we're doing this together. I really can't see you with these eyes, but I certainly feel I can see you with the inner eye. And I know that some or all of you are playing along. So as you do that, just set this intention that we are here now. And we are here now for a reason. And I invite you that the reason is because there is an opportunity for ascension of the being that you are, which is self, which really means others, because there's this self, there's the whole self, there's the true self. And in the end, if you really chunk up high enough, there's nothing but the self, because we're all one being. And this one being is about to breathe together. And I am so deeply excited to do that with you. And there are so many reasons. Again, it wouldn't matter which path we follow. It wouldn't matter if we followed a more theological path or a scientific path. And if we go theologically, maybe we'd say, well, where there are two or more gathered, there is a presence. If we go more scientifically, we could start to look at the neurons. I had a team of 30 different scientists actually at my artificial intelligence company. We had physicists, I had neuroscientists, some of the top institutes of the world, behavioral scientists, and we were actually creating essentially back then, although, with humility, I say this, and somewhat naively, digital consciousness. This was 2016. It was before ChatGPT in some respects. And people were having 3-hour-long conversations with this digital being that we created. And so, of course, I had a lot of scientists there to really study, what does it mean to be human? So when I speak of neurons, just think about all of the neurons. Neurotransmitters bathe every cell of your body. And guess what? There are things called mirror neurons. So even when we're not physically together, my neurology is impacting your neurology. Your neurology is impacting my neurology. And so and bring this back to your career, bring this back to your team, if you're in a specific space where actually you are maybe very agitated, maybe you have actually just had a coffee, nothing against coffee, but what I can tell you is that can impact the adrenal glands. You can find those jitters, fight, flight, freeze. And then you've probably gone into a sympathetic state rather than a parasympathetic. So let's bring this even to a team scenario as well as now. If you can manage your own neurology, come to a space of calm, of relaxation, of absolute confidence, and a different type of power that's not power over, it's power with, because you become one with all beings with whom you're with. Then your team, your results, your targets, it's not even a problem. You actually can enjoy the fun, the process of actualizing that. So let's bring it all together now, some of the steps and stages, into a big cosmic breath. And this is not the technical name, but we don't need the technical name right now. What we want is a result. That's what we need. That's what we're going to have. And you're all going to have a result and an experience. So come with me on the journey. Now, if you're open to playing along, sit down, by the way. Look, I'm not here to tell you what to do. If you haven't done this before, I invite you to sit down, because you may find that you really feel a lot of energy in your body. And if you're standing, that might be a new experience for you that you're not yet acclimated to. So sit down, rest and relax. And if you can, stay looking at me for now. In a moment, you'll close your eyes. And I want to invite that you actually connect your thumb here to the inside of this finger. And that's going to create a circuit for us that will optimize the body and the glands. So it's a little different to the one you often see on the movies, or maybe you are actually a deeply meditating being. You may practice this mudra. So we're actually going to go with the little finger, the pinky, and we'll connect that. And these 3 fingers are here. And you can rest those now on your knees if you're sitting. And this one I'm calling the belly pump, because I want you to think of a pump. Often people are breathing, we spoke about different types of breathing, different qualities of breathing. Often people will breathe up into the chest, and there are reasons to do that. That can also activate different neurology than we're activating now. So what I invite you to do is breathe into the belly, and it's going to be a very fast breath. And it's not just you doing this. There are literally 500 to 1,000 people doing this right now. We're doing it all together. So you're going to breathe and pump the belly in and just allow that in-breath to fall in. So I'll demonstrate. You can't quite see my belly because it's below screen, but I'll demonstrate how it will look above screen. So you'll be holding the mudra and it's all in and out the nose, in and out the nose, lips are closed. And it'd be like this. Now my chest is moving because I'm pumping the belly, okay? And we'll be doing this, I'll set the timer. We'll do this for a short period of time, just so you can begin to feel how it feels with this mudra. So I play along, let's expand and set a really nice visual now. Just set an intention that in this 1 minute, this will be 60 seconds of breathing. And I promise you, if you come along with me on the journey, if you come along with us on the journey, you'll feel completely different, radically different than you did before we met here and now. So let's begin. Mudra, hands on knees, set an intention that you will clean and clear, rejuvenate, regenerate, revitalize your energy, your being, your body, and that you are breathing in one cosmic collective breath. That's how big and powerful your lungs are. They go beyond your body. So I will now set the timer. And what I want you to do is simply begin. You'll hear some music, just flow with the music and let the 1 minute go now. Let's begin. Okay. And let any thoughts, feelings just surface up, and imagine a golden portal, a circle above your head, and just lift any thoughts, feelings, fears, anxieties into that golden portal. Let them be washed away. Another 30 seconds. Keep breathing, keep pumping the belly. Faster, 15 seconds. Okay. Five seconds. Now deep breath in through the mouth. And relax. And allow the body to return to some normal breathing. Just feel what you can feel. Notice what you can notice. Any sensations in the body, maybe any tingling in the body. Feel the aliveness of being alive, the aliveness of being and breathing with people from all around the world. Your fellow beings, your fellow brothers, sisters, kin. And feel what you can bring inside your being to this moment now. Maybe that's joy, maybe that's a smile, maybe that's love. And you'll know what's right for you. And as you come back to this space, just acknowledge how in 60 seconds, and that's something that you can do anywhere with anyone, you have the opportunity to completely shift your state, which means shifting your reality. And this is really a core tenet of the 5 key shifts that James and I have brought together, which are direction. Number 1, shift number 1 is direction. Well, how can you give and receive direction in a way that's in your highest? I invite you, if you're not in a state of being that allows for that highest self-expression, that soul expression to be present, unlikely that can be true. So if I can give this to you as a gift, be in that space, be in that being. And if you're ever not feeling the way you want to feel, because you know you must feel that way to actualize a specific result, just give yourself 60 seconds to breathe in that specific way. The second shift is connection. We're all here right now connecting because in some way we knew to be here. We felt the call. And we're here now. And it's absolutely crucial that you are in and around the 5 principal people within your life that can elevate your profession, your career, and you in every single way, and where you can support them in elevating them. So that's the second shift. And all of these are in a training that James and I have put together where you get to go a lot more deeply. The third shift is emotion, the power of emotion, the rich tapestry, the texture, the color of life. And sometimes we repress emotion, and that can manifest in the echo chamber of the body. It's a physical expression of the vibration in our being. So I invite you to no longer repress emotion if that's something you've been doing, and express that in ways that are right for you and learn how. So again, that's in this training. The fourth shift is accountability. We must be accountable as people to ourselves, to our team, to our community. And the fifth shift is coaching. You know, we've covered one simple principle today, simple, yet in its purity, it's almost everything. And that's breath, the breath of life, through which you get to actualize this physical being with the being that is, and with all the beings around you. And so what I invite you to do, and you can do this right now, is go to salesconfidence.com, www.salesconfidence.com, and /free leaders training. I'm going to drop this into the chat. So it's in the chat now. You'll see that there. It's www.salesconfidence.com, free sales leaders training. Now, this could very well be the most important 45 minutes that you give yourself this year. Because in that training, those 5 key shifts, direction, connection, emotion, accountability, coaching, and actualizing, self-realizing, ascending, awakening into a new you, a true you, the soul, for yourself, for your team, for your family. It's all right there for you. And then there's something very special that James and I have put together. It's being launched right now. We've got 80 people already with us on the journey. And now we've opened up something very special for the next tier of leadership. And that's what I invite you to. So connect there. James will make sure you have that. www.salesconfidence.com /free leaders training. And in the last 1-2 minutes that we have, what I'd like to do, if you're open, is just bring those hands into a prayer position, not because it's a religious thing, not because it's an anything, other than your access point to opening your heart to love, even more love than you can ever imagine, which is even more love than you ever imagined that you truly are. So thank you for being here with me.